So I want to test your guys' humanity. It's like one of those things I think everybody does that nobody actually like talks about. But on your daily activities, do you narrate other people's lives for them? I'll give you my example, because I'm out and about. I'm on the streets all day. I'm delivering mail. I'm getting ready to walk into this doctor's office, which just so happens to be a gynecologist. And the lady walking in front of me, I'm like, ooh, yeah, they gonna look at your pussy, aren't they? They gonna touch your pussy, ain't they? They gonna get all up in that pussy, huh? And then I started feeling guilty, but then I started laughing because I started thinking of Paul Rudd from This Is 40, where he's like, I'm gonna give you my dick. And guys, I was actually doing that same voice in my head. Like, yeah, but your pussy's dirty. Gotta come get that pussy over there. So that's my general question. Am I a psychopath, or is this a common occurrence amongst everyone?
Internal dialogue to narrate someone else's kind of day-to-day activities. I mean, I think I do it with dumbasses. Like, here I am. I don't know. Thought I knew what I was doing. Don't know what I'm doing. I'm a dummy.
Yeah. That's true. I mean, people in lines that don't know how to order from a menu, I'll just like, what do I like to eat?
Wait a minute.
Delicious.
I thought I was at Subway. My bad. Took me 15 minutes. I was wondering why I was looking for a double Whopper.
I kind of felt guilty about this one though, because like really, it's probably an annual checkup. There's probably nothing wrong with their pussy, and I'm just being a dick for no reason. Like they're already embarrassed. They see me coming, like, I don't want to see anybody see me walking into the pussy doctor. Well, here comes the mailman, and I bet I know what he's thinking. They're gonna look at my pussy. What's wrong with my pussy?
You should probably, if you should like attended like a rally for people to shut down or shame people going into an abortion clinic. Like, ooh, what are you going in there for? Oh, I'm gonna get this kid pulled out of me. Oh, this is a one-night stand. I told him to pull out. He's an idiot.
Yeah. I think you guys covered it pretty perfectly.
So once here's a good one.
I do it
once a week. There's a dumpster that's like half a block from me that's back of an elementary school, and once a week it gets picked up. And this fucking guy, I mean, he has to get his dump. It's like a kind of a dump truck / loader. It's one that has the forklift that throws it backwards to get all the contents in. He could gracefully get up. He has to go up on a curb. Has to. There's no way around it. He can do the dip in the corner a little bit, but one of the wheels is going to go up. He does not give a fuck. He hits that thing like he's driving fucking Gravedigger and slams into that thing and throws it up with max velocity and puts it down, never in the same spot that it was or even remotely close. Just anywhere in this back patio. And I see him about once a month. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna pick this motherfucker up. Here we go. I'm gonna get these done by 11 so I can go home.
Yeah, I do that with like the trash men, like when they're doing like the city streets, like down. It's like I don't give a fuck, and they'll just fucking wing it and just like let it slide, and wherever it fucking glides is where it goes.
Yeah. And your trash cans afterwards, they don't care if they get back to your patio or your property. Nothing. Just throw it in that direction. Get up there. Especially living in the city. You don't deal with this too much because you're in an apartment, but you probably used to. Like, because there's a big one for trash and there's a big one for recycling, and it's Wednesdays and Fridays. And listen, they do a good job of getting them on Wednesdays and Fridays. I'll give that an A plus probably, because they do it around the same time every day, Wednesday and Friday. Getting those trash receptacles anywhere remotely closer, it's a guessing game after that. If you don't have your address written on one of those, you're like, I hope this fucker's mine. It's mine now. Yeah. But they're in parking spots. They're anywhere up and down the sidewalk.
Yeah, we had a neighbor when we were over there who was like, knocked on the door one day. It was like, that's my trash can. We were like, no, it's not. And fucking, she was like, hell bent. She was like, no, that's definitely it. It has has this thing on here, and it was like, oh, okay. Does it also have this giant the address that this house is in fucking duct tape on the other side of it? Does it have that? Does it say that on there? And she was like, oh no, I'm sorry. I was like, get the fuck out of here. It's also just a giant green plastic bin. Put your fucking trash in it and keep it moving. Like, fuck out of here.
I will never understand people who like stake claim to things like that. It's like we all have it's all for the same shit.
It's city issued. We didn't even pay for them. Like,
No. What do I just want it functional. I don't care if it's a different one every week.
yeah, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, because I would just next question would be like, do you have one that's different from this one? Yeah, I'll have that one.
Give me that
Flip
one.
them around. I don't care.
Is it go get yours? I'm not transporting this. You can make the swap. But also, this one's not yours. Look at that.
Right. But to answer your question, Mur, I suppose I probably do it more
Yeah.
than I care to think about. But I think you probably have a better mental diary of these.
Yeah, I can't, like, I was trying to, I'm racking my brain trying to think of specific ones because I know Mur kind of like fucking warmed me up for it. And I was like, trying to think because, like, mine are probably hilarious in hindsight, but like I can't remember any of them. But yeah, I definitely do it. It's mostly I think like or like fucking Wes said, stupid people, like stupid people at work.
I'll say this.
You motherfucker.
I think the difference between me and you guys though is like you guys are when you guys do go to work into the office space, like you're around people you've seen before. Generally speaking, I know Alan, you're in a different situation currently, but like. I'm just out on, like, these are strangers. I have no idea what they sound like. I have no idea what they think. I have no idea their philosophies in the world. So I just have to completely make up personalities for these people to entertain myself.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I apologize to the lady whose pussy I was making fun of, but, you know, you don't know. And by the way, I had to go to the urologist the other day, and keep in mind, I have an appointment. But every motherfucker walking in, I'm judging. I'm like, ooh, wearing sweatpants, are we? Trying to get them balls touched, huh?
I do. Me and Kelly do be doing that shit. We do it together. We judge people. Like if we go out to eat, we're like, look at these motherfuckers. Who do you think they're going to order? Ooh, they got the Benedict. That's fucking bold. It's 12:30. It's more lunch than brunch at this point, you know? Like just stupid shit. Like absolutely no reason. Or if you look ridiculous, if you are wearing or just absolutely look preposterous, we will make fun of you to each other.
Driving is a good one. Just dumb.
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, I was in that lane. I thought, that lane I was too comfortable in that. I got to get in this other one for no particular reason.
See, I think that's a West thing.
I
don't really think about that too much when I'm driving. I'm usually just listening to tunes, trying to get where I'm going.
Wes, you do have an issue with it because most of the stories about you, like in your fucking little bubble, are about you. And I mean, I will give you this: we haven't had a lot of like rage-related.
That's true.
Wes stories. I mean, listen. I encourage you to continue with these dialogues of people being. I'm going to switch lanes to here. Oh, missed my turn. Better fucking make that maneuver. Good job. I'm a good driver. Yeah, keep doing that.
Just getting himself angry.
I feel comfortable merging onto an off ramp from the middle lane. That makes the angle's better. The velocity's better. It helps me out. I feel good. Being in the right lane's too practical. Can't do it. Got to be in the middle. Fucking idiot!
Making a 60-degree turn at 75 is a good idea.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. That ramp. Yeah. Now, I try to think of a few. I mean, I'll do it at work occasionally, especially from like not people within my company. But like, for instance, I have a program right now. It's like 120 sites. I send out a customary kind of by the book email that says, hey, this is happening in your site a month and a half, 2 months from now. I'm confirming email address, your information, if you're the point of contact, et cetera, et cetera. And then I get back these like emails that answered the questions that if they just bothered to read the email, they would have gotten the question, the answer to their question. They're like, oh, what is this for? I'm like, well, Tommy Dipshit, if you read the motherfucking thing, you would have figured it out. And I guess you're just too busy. You're just too busy.
I had that happen in a sales meeting, and it was after we got done bitching about something in operations. And fucking my boss was like, "Hey, did you do that thing?" And I was like, "Yep, doing it right now, as a matter of fact," because I was on my laptop, not listening to what the fuck she was talking about. And I was like, "Yep, doing it right now." And she was CC'd on this email and watched the Airhead service like coordinator fucking ignore all of my direction in the email and be like, "Who do I call again?" And I was like, "Nicole, what the fuck?" And she was like, "It's like, thank you. Just so we're on the same. I'm glad we did this in real fucking time. Thank you." Just making sure we're good here.
Yeah, I had one with a chief technology officer for a sector that I don't run anymore, but he lollygagged all day from something that he was supposed to be engaged in, and then at 4:00 hustled 4 to 5, didn't get it done. Then he had to like stick around with our guys to get it done. He knew this was the thing, and I was just like, no. And he's like, I had plans with my wife. I had plans. We had dinner plans. I was like, well, sorry to ruin your Wednesday dinner plans. And he's like, God damn it! And he got all pissed off, and I was like, then I said to everyone in the workplace, I was going to have missionary sex with my wife for 3 minutes tonight, God damn it, and you ruined it. You ruined it, you bastard.
I mean, basically.
That I said. I didn't think about that one. I verbalized that.
You know, one I need to say, because we very rarely, but we occasionally have like a workroom. Hey, all hands on deck. Everybody listen to me. I'm talking. I'm in charge. And you need to hear what I have to say. Inevitably, some motherfucker is going to ask. And I just sit there in my head. Who's going to ask a work floor question? Who's going to ask a work floor question? Who's going to waste all of our time for a question specifically about themselves? Where, as soon as they're, all right, everybody, thank you for your time, you could directly go to that person and ask your specific question for you. No, let's ask it in front of the whole fucking group. Let's do that right now. And that's usually what I say as soon as the question comes out of their fucking mouth, which is inevitable. It's going to happen.
I used to ask for our sales meetings to get split. And they would get mad at me because like there were different parts of us that sold different stuff. Like I sold this, they sold that. And like we would be in a 2-hour meeting and like an hour and 15 minutes of that was the other division just talking about stuff. And I'm just like, God, we don't need to be here. We're done. Yeah. We're easy. They're divas. Let us out, please. We don't want to be here.
I will say on the flip side of that, when I worked at the radio station, we all were in on the joke that we would keep asking questions until our boss was like, all right, anybody else has questions, you can meet me in my office. Like, we would ask the fucking dumbest, like, let's address it now in front of the group questions. But at least then everybody was in on the joke except for our boss, and that was fun. But when everybody's trying to fucking get something accomplished, shut up. Your question's either an email or a fucking pull aside. So either pull aside or fucking type away. Leave me out of it. God.
Yeah, that's kind of like the old grade school teacher. Like, anyone else have any question? Oh, I do. And 29 kids like, this fucking bookworm. Jesus.
God damn it, Jeremy.
You were probably going to figure it out anyway.
Yeah.
Some people just need to get beat up growing up. I think that's
actually true. Didn't we talk about my bullying exploits as a young lad? Like, you got to bully some people. Builds character.
Agreed.
That's right.
I told you guys, you either get the stripper or you get the fucking PhD who's going to save Earth. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I don't necessarily know if this leaks into bullying children. Middle Class Sells Everyone, Foxman, Allen, and Murmur. You have a friend or foe that talks about a paradigm shift in upbringing of children.
Yeah, maybe the Dutch have maybe learned the error of the Western ways as of late. Soft spaces out, stick fighting in. The Dutch are calling for a return to risky play. Might be the wrong voice to use when talking about children, but here we go.
Yeah, that's weird.
Encouraging kids to play with fire? Hear us out, says party worried about the Netherlands' increasing sedentary ways. I always love a news story that starts off with a tale. Let's get to it. 10-year-old Jackie stood with a small pan in the flames of an open fire, chatting merrily when her popcorn caught alight. With no sign of panic, her mother simply put out the flames in a nearby ditch. Then, Jackie and her 8-year-old brother Michael calmly cooked a second batch. Quote, "This is much more fun than other playgrounds," said Michael. "You can catch a fish, you can go in the waters and build the huts. Sometimes my mom is drawing, and you can really feel us be free." Anyway, the point is, they're talking about risky play. It's the kind of risky play local councilors want to spread across Amsterdam, replacing the rubber tiles and boring playgrounds they say have been built in recent years. A new policy from D66 Liberal Democrats proposes giving all children in the Dutch capital access to outdoor play areas to climb with water and fire and swords made of sticks, building with hammers, ropes, and knives. Wrestling. Quote, "Roughy tufty playing means that children might get a bump or a cut, according to the policy, but it's an acceptable risk, they say. So what say you? Friend or foe? Bring back kids in danger so they can learn that sometimes danger needs to be avoided. Friend, yes. It's how I grew up. I'm still alive. I'm more resilient. Or foe, no. Sometimes we learn the error of our ways as time passes, and we need to let these kids grow in a more wholesome environment where they feel sheltered and protected." Alan.
Sounds cool to me. Fuck. It just honestly, it sounds like a marketing, like, you know, we've had like health marketing fucking kicks around, like the government sponsored health marketing shits. Like, did Michelle Obama do some shit for fat kids and fucking for
grew a
Laura
garden in the fucking rose garden.
Well, whatever, and fucking didn't first Bush, who was first Bush's wife, Barbara? Didn't Barbara do some shit? I don't know, maybe not, probably not her.
I don't think
but
Barbara
either way,
did a goddamn thing except for look like a golden girl on testosterone.
Either way, like fucking
B. Arthur
health
type
campaigns have been fucking this, like the first lady's thing for like decades. I think this is just like a nice, clever, like government marketing thing to be like, kids, get the fuck outside, man. Like, kind of like what I think the three of us have said multiple times in different scenarios. Like, yeah, go fucking run in a creek and slip and probably bust your head open. But it's, again, character building.
Yeah,
fucking get out there.
I'll
like
shut my
it.
mouth for now. Wes?
Yeah.
So first of all, I don't agree with your foe entirely. The way you presented that was like, we're you know, the way you kind of molded that. I don't necessarily agree that it's this overbearing, child protecting extravagant. I will agree that things have, in the last 30 years, have been childhood safety has been paramount, or people safety, but childhood safety. You know, and weirdly enough, I was a kid in the 80s. I didn't have a kid in the 80s, but, you know, I didn't watch a child get impaled on a jungle gym set that was built in the 50s that you probably needed a tetanus shot just to climb over. I know for a fact, like at Perry Point Park, they had these 3 different wooden kind of like mazes that all of us got concussions on. And they had these giant stainless steel slides that all of us got either burns from sliding down too fast, or they were like 155 degrees during the summer and got burnt, both from just speed, acceleration, and heat. Boys are gonna burn shit. We've talked about this. I met with my brother and a neighborhood friend once a month when we would secretly pick shit out of the trash and put it into a burn stash. And then we would meet at an undisclosed location on a Friday night when we were like 14, 13 years old and just burn stuff. Burn pizza boxes, styrofoam, plastic, whatever we could get our fucking hands on, and just sit around and go, ooh, yeah, wow. Ooh, yeah. Does that need to be under childhood supervision? Fuck, I don't know. If it isn't, kids are going to do it anyway. This seems slightly like a, hey, they're going to do it anyway. Kids are going to get themselves hurt. Kids are going to get themselves cut. They're going to get scratched. They're going to bonk their head. They're going to get injured one way or another. Let's just do it. Let's just do it in an environment that's quasi supervised, and we can be like, hey, that's not a big deal. And I guess, I mean, to an extent, George Carlin had a really good bit. It was in a book that he wrote, and he may have done a bit about this. I had never seen it in one of his stand-ups, or about basically childhood safety is bullshit. Darwinism reigns supreme. Some kids need to get hit by a train while they're playing on the train tracks. These dumbasses need to be weeded out of society for good. You eat too many marbles, you choke on the marbles. You're too stupid for adulthood anyway.
What I do appreciate about this is, okay, we probably could have used some supervision growing up. Our parents would not have let us actively burn stuff, so they just turned a blind eye and didn't pay attention to what we did. And so we did beat each other with sticks, we did light shit on fire, and we did slip on fucking creek rocks. And there, if we did get hurt, it was going to be like a half an hour before help arrived, at least, at a minimum. I do like the fact that they're finally admitting that, like, we might have coddled these little fuckers too much. Okay. I'm okay with by the way, as a parent, like, you do, when you're actually watching your kid play, you do fear they're going to get fucking hurt. I'm okay. Why take the fucking padding off the playgrounds? Like, you fall off a swing, yeah, maybe CTE shouldn't be in your future. Like, learn your lesson, better have better balance. No, but like, saying like, Daddy, I'm going to light this on fire, and being like, all right, bud, I'll be over here. And then if they get hurt or something goes awry, you're right there to watch. It's kind of a nice hybrid of like, I used to do this fucking like dangerous shit when I was a child. At least I'm here if something goes bad.
I do agree, because the way we were trending was kids need to get dressed up like they're in a full-on sparring competition in MMA, and everything that they were playing on had safety measures out the fucking wazoo, which isn't even fun. There's no fun in that. There's got to be a little bit of danger to have that frontal lobe stimulated. What I'm saying is that, knowing what I grew up in, there were in Havre de Grace, Maryland, right off the shores of the Susquehanna River, there was this metal grid dome that you could climb up with nothing underneath other than shaved wood bits. Okay. Mm-hmm. And if you got to the top of that, it was about 25 feet. And I watched kids fucking be like, yeah, I'm going to hang from and fall. I watched a couple kids hurt themselves. I don't think kids should be falling from 25, 30 feet tall. I think that they either should have put padding underneath of that or gotten rid of that long before I was climbing on it. And that kids were climbing on that in World War II, and they were like, yeah, it's a pastime. Yeah, kids just do that. That's what they do. And one dislocated knee, ankle, fucking a shattered hip later. They're like, oh, maybe that was a little risque.
I just have you. There's an image that floats around the internet every now and again, and it's like a kid's playground from like the 1950s, and the monkey bars are like 20 feet off the ground. Like, it's just, it's like the shit like the Al Qaeda sent their video around. Like, we're ready. Like, it's that kind of style. Like, and dude, yes, modern technology, get things up to date. Yeah, don't make it 20 feet high. Make it 7.5 feet high. That's still far enough for them to fall. Like, ooh, there's danger here. Don't fall. But they're not going to fucking maim themselves. I think a nice hybrid. I do like the fact that they're like, yeah, let them burn stuff. Like, that's, for some reason, that's novel. And I also, Alan, I do want to hear about some of your, because I'm interested, since you're so much younger than I am, like what your danger was. But I remember at West Nottingham Church West, there was a slide. Some contractor just had some leftover metal, polished it. It was at a 45-degree angle. And I remember this specifically. Yeah, you got where the skin got ripped off your legs. And then one day, somebody must have gone out there with some Crisco and fucking shined that fucker up, and nobody knew about it. The next thing you know, ankles were fucking broken. It was whisk. gone.
Kids
100
are
miles
going
an
at
hour.
30 miles an hour. And the little frail bones couldn't take it.
So he went from friction burns to fucking ankle broken. It was awesome. Alan?
Yeah, I don't. What did? Hold on.
Oh, well,
You
okay, was
asked
there
me.
any-
You mentioned something about like wanting to know what I play, like dangers I played with.
Okay. Well, because what I'm getting, so like, okay, in 1985, I was 6 years old. And so if you think about how long playgrounds are around, like I was probably playing on playgrounds that were legitimately built in the 50s or 60s, because kids playing back then, there wasn't a premium on kids need a safe place to play. It was like, no, kids just find shit to play on and they fucking play. And that changed, I think, in your era.
I mean, maybe, but I think after I was born, because like I was born in '86, so I think I was still playing on the fucking same playgrounds you were playing on. Honestly, you know what I mean? Like the one at my school, like my elementary, middle school, we had a playground out front, and it had a fucking one of the like little metal merry-go-rounds that just was fucking 5 handles welded onto a fucking wheel that you spun at breakneck speed, and fucking people got fucking thrown off of it, and like I remember getting fucking like whiplash off of one of those bad boys. We had the fucking we had the horses on springs. You know what I'm talking about? That you rock. But like the old school jam. So yeah, like you could fucking get into one of those bad boys. And I definitely saw a lightweight fucking like 8-year-old fly about 15 feet. Fucking yeah. So like, and all this was on a nice mulch surface. So it was, get fucking wood shards, like not even just some splinters, but like, so yeah, I think I still got a taste of what y'all got. It just, and then I aged out of it. Plus we had like, I walked to school. So because it was so close, like I always was getting into shit. Like I was allowed to just explore. There was a creek on the school property too that kind of ran along the side of it. So like we'd always fuck around down in there. There were some trees that had these things. I don't even know what the fuck they are. We called them monkey balls, which is probably either racist or
No,
just
that's
something
what we
fucking
call 'em.
ridiculous. But you know what I'm talking about, like the
Of course,
fucking
that's
like
what we call them. But yeah.
like I know, right? Like the brain looking fucking like green like crabapple type things. We would huck those things at each other. Those are fucking hurt. Yeah, so I think I had like a average. It was like just after me. Like if you were born in the 90s,
Yeah, you're right,
millennial, then shit was kind of weird. Because like
They started
yeah.
excavating all these things we've talked about, all these springs that could shoot 100-pound kids 15 feet in the air that were rusted to bits, and they're like, nope, done. We're done with them. We're going to do something more practical. And even like at the elementary school I went to, they had it was a fucking cast iron like chariot, okay, and it stood in place. It had 2 bench seats that faced one another, a bench seat up front that was like the person wrangling the horses, and it had a flat top that and then it had stuff in the back that people could like jump on. But the teachers always said no one on top. Well, fucking everyone got on top. I watched a kid. I thought for sure he broke his ribs falling off of it, like onto the side of it. Just was like, yeah, I gotta jump off, and then had no athletic bone in his body, and every unathletic bone in his body was shattered to absolute bits when it wrangled up from the bottom rib all the way to his fucking chest cavity. And he didn't break anything, but he was just like, oh, I think I knocked the wind out of myself. Like it's that, and it was rows of toys like that or playground ornaments like that got ripped up and replaced by a lot of plastic, a lot of 3-foot slides and things of that nature.
Metal slides, regular ass swings. Now here's the question, not to derail us, and hopefully we can be quick. But did you guys have any like indoor gym games or fucking shit like that were really dangerous? That like you either like somebody got hurt or you had to stop playing. We had a couple that we couldn't. We like after like the age of like 10, we weren't allowed to play anymore because we beat the shit out of each other.
I feel like the most dangerous thing they let us do at gym, which I loved. Remember like the little flat scooters, Wes? They were like those little plastic squares with like the
4 wheels,
the 4 wheels on,
like a dolly.
Everybody like at least once a year, somebody had a fucking like finger rolled over.
Yeah. Oh yes.
Somebody would fucking like compress themselves up against a wall because somebody would push them and they'd put their legs up and then they would fucking like kneecap themselves in the nipples and just fucking all the wind fucking exited their body.
See, the one that I remember distinctly, and I can remember two. One was a high school game that got banned when I was in high school, but when I was a kid, it was in Boy Scouts, and they used to do this thing. They'd put you on this kind of like cross-sectioned, just wide enough for 2 feet balance, kind of like it's not a balance ball, but not like a balance beam. You know, the wood cross sections, and there's a focal point in the middle, so you kind of have to like balance yourself. And you had this like little aluminum shield, and then a quasi ball and chain. And you're supposed to knock the person off. And I'm telling you,
Jesus.
as an athletic kid, it was hard just to maintain balance.
Yeah,
It was hard just to like balance yourself, and inevitably some guy who is just in it for the camping wasn't in it for the ball and chain and commando style would fall off and bang himself. Yeah. They by the time I think I was like 10 or 11, they're like, okay, yeah, we can't do this anymore. The one in high school was called Lithuanian ball. I don't know who the fuck came up with that
Just
name.
fucking definitely sounds like something we should not play.
So it's people along the sidelines that are one side is one team, one side's the other, and then people along the back ends that were like the pad on the back wall. That was a goalie goal or for soccer, and then there's the basketball net. You couldn't dribble, and if you got the ball passed to you, you couldn't run, so you had to pass it to someone else. And the idea was if the ball went on the floor, it was then soccer. The soccer players figured out like, well, I'll just drop the fucking ball and just rip tits into someone who's playing goalie, and me and Kilby ended up just demolishing some fucking freshman girls' guts, tits, and faces. with and I'm talking about those tennis balls that are 16 times the size of a tennis ball. Yeah, just like, oh yeah, can't find me one, put it on the ground. Whee!
dude, I can't remember all the rules of Nukem, Alan, but Charles Givens had a
six man out is what they called it later on. I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
yeah. Charles Givens came up with the the most enhanced version of dodgeball imaginable, and he didn't play dodgeball with foam balls. You play dodgeball with fucking like the legit, like the smaller sized kickballs, like the red rubber ball.
Yeah.
Dude, you get pinged with one of those by like a high school senior that's on the fucking baseball team, like, and you're a freshman, fucking lights out, baby. Because there was one where like one team got all the balls and got to stand at the half court line, and it was just like, that's why it was called Nukem. It was like, that was like the special Nukem part, is one team got a chance to fucking destroy the other team. Same rules, but man, you caught one to the fucking cheek, and it was fucking. See you later. See you tomorrow, boys.
Keep your head on a swivel.
We played a similar type game in middle school. It's cones in the middle, everyone on one side. If one person gets hit, you're out. If someone on the team catches it, someone that from your team who was then hit then can come off. If the first team to get 6 people out, the other side wins. I remember this simply because there was a special needs student who didn't know how to play the game and would just stand at the front. And there were a certain group of people, not myself, who would just fucking throw it as hard as they could at him. And our gym coach in middle school didn't understand that this kid probably shouldn't be playing this. And they say like, oh, that shit wears off over time. I'm going to tell you, it was funny for fucking 3 years. The entire time I was there.
And that, by the way, that's with adult supervision.
Yeah,
I know.
So careful what you wish for in their Netherlands.
Yeah.
But I do like, look, the bottom line is you know, with everything that's going on in the world today, I think I know the big fear is if America becomes a lot less cushy for one reason or another. Like, our kids are not prepared for a hard life. There's some kids. I mean, America's a big country. There's a lot of diversity in this country. There are some kids that'll do just fine in the apocalypse. But I would say the vast majority, 70% or more, are not ready for some sort of world cataclysm that forces them to like fend for themselves. Way too much safe space. But I do like the fact that playgrounds don't maim you automatically just by existing.
Right.
Anything metal now has.
If your tetanus shot isn't up to date, you might be fucked just by climbing around this puppy.
Yeah, every playground has like an inch, or about a half inch of fucking like really nice paint on it. Like there's no rust anywhere anymore. Yeah, I think we can leave that fine. That's okay. But yeah, man, like I remember we used to find like the best stick, and then we would have our knives and we'd fucking shave it up and we'd have fucking sword fights. And like the only way you won your sword fight is if you broke the other guy's sword. Like that was fun. It was a good time. A lot of knuckles broken open, but
We used, in my house, when I was like a teenager, like 12, 13, preteen and teenager, we had a BB gun war. And by this, it was one person was it. If you got shot with a little handheld BB gun, you were then it. And the person who was previously it just put the gun down and ran. No goggles, no care about my parents' drywall or windows.
Yeah.
None of that.
wow. I didn't know this was an indoor game.
Yeah, I was indoor. 100% indoor.
It was everywhere.
All 4 floors were open. My parents' room included. I just like opened the door. I'm like, yeah, this is fine. You can hide in here.
And I guess I guess at the end of the day, the friends have it. It's not the kids' fault they're soft. It's our fault. We've made them soft. So let's they don't know they don't know you're toughening them up. So let them have some fun. Let them start some fires. Let them whack each other with some sticks. Let's make blood like normal again and playtime fun. So the friends have it, and that is your friend or foe.
All right. And we're going to transition quickly into time, war. Fun fact.
Don't steal my shit here. All right, let's get to
Sorry,
it.
Fun Fact Friday. Sorry, my bad.
Your
my
brand
bad,
new
my
Fun
bad.
Fact Friday. We're going to get inside the Ripley's, believe it or not. Time. Warp. Two. With some brand new facts for you, brought to you by our good friend the Cuckster. Find him on Instagram. It's Cuckster for Life. That's Cuckster for Life on Instagram, and now on TikTok at Cuckster for Life 1. Cuckster for Life 1. On the tickety talk, let's get to it. Did you know the Berlin Wall has now been down for longer than it was standing? That's a good fucking fact right there. All right.
Yeah.
Some of these are
like
lame.
that make you feel old type shit. Yeah. There was, I think I was something where like Clueless turns 30 this year. I was like, motherfucker. I really like the movie Clueless, but the Berlin Wall has been down long. Here's a good one. I think in like 3 or 4 years, I have to double check, Camden Yards will have been open longer than Memorial Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild, dude.
Yeah.
That one, I mean, of course, I know we're not a big national show or anything, but for like the locals, like that's a big deal. Because I remember at the end of the day, Alan, how many did you go to games at Memorial Stadium?
Not that I remember. My parents took me when I was little, but like, yeah, I don't really remember it.
Dude, that place was a death trap. I remember being in the nosebleeds, and if you like, if it was so steep.
If you fell, boy, you were hoping someone was walking in front of you.
Dude, you were gonna Nordberg yourself into fucking center field. 100%. I can remember being up there and like I was leaning over to grab my drink, and it was just like you got that weird like equilibrium head rush, like where you got physically scared that you were going down. I mean, it was that
I also the first game I ever went to, and then my dad took my brother, myself, and our cousin Dylan. God knows how he drew that straw. Like a Sunday afternoon game, you're taking your 5 or your 8-year-old son and your 11-year-old cousin. Like, yeah, fine, I'll do it. And my parents dressing me in these fucking booty cut Daisy Duke shorts, in the late '80s, and we had the bleacher seats, and I went to sit on them on my ass, and the bleacher seats were like 155 degrees, and I could hear sizzle. I could hear my hamstrings go. I was like, oh, eh. My dad gave me this long rant about not being a jerk during the game. He was like, what's wrong with you? I was like, good, nothing. So I just sat on my tailbone for 3 innings, like that, before we finally moved. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and again, I had the nostalgia. You know, we went to Yankee Stadium for one of the last games there. It was just those places were just simply designed to put humans in a space. They were not designed for comfort or safety or anything. They were just designed to get you in front of the fucking ball game. So good, that's awesome. It's it'll make me feel, I don't know. I'm not saying that Trump makes me, I'm better than they were, but it does. It will make, when that day comes, it will make me feel like I am a part of Orioles lore.
And I'm not comparing Camden Yards to the Berlin Wall. Obviously, those things can be mutually inclusive. But I went to games the last season of Memorial Stadium in '91. And when this time comes, when it either ties it or beats it, I can sit here and go like, this stadium is way better now. Way better.
Oh, big time.
But I know that they have maintained little parts of the Berlin Wall in Berlin. They've maintained little portions for, memorial's sake.
Yeah, for nostalgia, and that's fine. I mean, you got to remember that shit like that can happen. So yeah,
Sure.
I mean, God, Alan, you're probably
Maybe the winter
young.
change will do a like a memorial, like a 40-year. Do.
Or maybe we can get Hasselhoff out there.
Ooh, Alan, what do you think? The Hoff does a Berlin Wall
Talking
tribute?
about freedom. Have you ever seen that video of him singing with his fucking like light up leather jacket on top of the wall?
Yeah. It's
Somebody
great.
throws some shit at him. It's like a firework or something. Fucking damn near takes him out. It would have been goddamn awesome if it happened.
Where's the safety at, man? Animals. Bet you let your kids play with fire.
Fucking jump in my car. Yeah, that would be fucking amazing. Could you imagine? Just fucking the Hoff fucking killing it.
Well, and the thing about David Hasselhoff as a singer is his legend grew even more so because Norm Macdonald on Saturday Night Live during Weekend Update would always just a non sequitur joke would be like, and why? Because Germans love David Hasselhoff. That was always the punchline to some joke that made no sense.
Yeah.
But it just continued the Hasselhoff lore.
Yeah, first of all, I don't like. I may have mentioned this. My Hell Week song when I pledged in a fraternity was a David Hasselhoff song. Hands up for rock and roll. Look it up if you've never heard it. So, have you ever seen the video where his daughter said she posted it because she was worried about him being an alcoholic, and it's him eating a Whopper or some sort of cheeseburger of sorts? Honestly, like, okay, I'll take his daughter's word for it that this is a reoccurring thing. But if that was just, oh, my dad is a weekend sloppy drunk, I think that's bullshit. He was laying on the floor. He wasn't plastering his face with ketchup and mustard. He wasn't getting on the carpet. He was just laying down.
No, he did. No, wait, no. The burger itself ended up on the floor.
It
and
like came out from
but
the
it
bread.
was on the plastic that he laid down. No?
No.
Am I misremembering?
No,
I thought
he
he
was-
laid the plastic down.
What do you mean, like the plate or like a tart?
Like the plastic
Like a
wrapping
tart.
from the burger. I thought he laid it down on the floor as kind of like a bib.
No.
I'm pretty sure he was eating it directly off of the floor. It was falling out of his hands. I think that's why that was such an impactful video. It was.
Am I a defense lawyer for the Hoff right now? Am I trying to be like, Your Honor,
Yeah.
Your Honor?
Yeah, like
All right.
you're legally
Exactly.
obligated to defend him, so you're making up
He
bullshit.
said, Your Honor, who hasn't drunk eating a Baconator off the floor? Like, we've all been there.
I mean, let's be honest. In my opinion, the only way you eat a baconator is off your
off the
kitchen
floor.
floor.
Carpet fragments add texture, I suppose.
And obviously, you're not allowed to eat a baconator before 2 a.m. Why would that be a thing?
Yeah. There's the time activated release in the burger and the bun. I'll have to go back and watch that. I think I watched
Yeah,
that.
I
About
think
15
you're
years ago,
not-
and I was like, yeah.
You're like he did. I think looking at some pictures because I didn't want to fire up a video. It looks like he like did have like maybe a paper plate or something on the ground, but then ultimately like shit falls onto the floor and he picks it up and keeps eating it and shit. Like so, like yeah, he tried, but it didn't work.
Tried, he failed.
Yeah,
I also know this: whenever I'm cozying up to a nice, delightful, mouth-pleasing burger, my space is not lying down on the floor.
Shirtless in jeans.
Like he laid down like
this is fucking fog to the shit. My bad.
Wes is like, damn, I've been doing this a lot recently.
Sarah, don't worry.
Chairs are
the Hoff
restrictive.
invented this.
The chairs are restrictive, in my opinion. You know what I'd like to do? Get down like I'm sunning myself on a Baywatch beach and lick this fucking onion off the floor.
Some people burp. Right.
Some people lie on the floor and eat their baconator. All right. Did you know beer predates bread?
So how'd they eat their sandwiches? On the floor?
That's kind of crazy to me because I feel like, from a chemistry standpoint, I feel like beer is a more complicated process than bread. Alan, you're our science expert.
But wasn't it had to do with like drinking water, right?
Nah,
the
because
drinking
like
water was no good. So
bread, bread is definitely a more complex process. Like you have to be a little bit more exacting in how you do it to get it like the end result of bread, which is why like some places didn't have like unleavened bread from the Bible. Fucking like some places didn't have fucking yeasts for them to rise, so their bread was flat. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah, but
why
I mean,
get a
even
lot
if you're talking about a flat bread, like I mean, isn't that just like wheat or flour, just like ground and then wet and then cooked? Like it's like a three-step process.
Well, also you got to keep in mind, like to get the flour right, you had to grow wheat, then understand that you had to mill wheat. Like beer or really anything that could be considered like a fermented fucking alcoholic beverage, that should just happen when you left a bucket of fucking fruit laying around. You know what I mean? Like beer now is a science experiment. Like beer back then was just fucking fermented shit. You know what I mean? It was fermented apples. There's your cider, bud. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't complex. They just left shit in a bucket and then strained it all out and fucking drank it.
You want some of this rotten liquid?
Yeah, basically.
Weren't they were doing that a lot because it was more sanitary than the drinking water.
Correct.
Also that, yeah.
Yeah, and I also like maybe I'm wrong on this. I just don't think the consumption of bread as a dietary thing was it came on much later just because it was like impractical. You know, they weren't doing sandwiches.
But did you say beer predates bread?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Oh no, that does feel weird, but I feel like beer's accidental. Like you could do beer accidentally. You can't accidentally make bread.
But I mean, I know what you're talking about with like fermented, like beverages, like fruits that went quote unquote bad, and they drank the liquid, which fucking humans will put anything in their mouth, won't they?
That's called hooch, by the way.
But like, to me, the process of if you're talking about beer, you're talking about like wheat or something like that, or barley, or any of these like hardy grains being fermented with yeast in a barrel with water until it's a drinkable product. Like that just seems to me like that is like, from a chemistry standpoint, like a harder process to achieve. But I guess if it's a necessity because like, well, we can't drink this we can't drink this water straight or we're going to fucking shit our fucking intestines out. I don't know. Humans are amazing. I can say that.
Yeah.
Because to come up with that fucking process and...
They're both interesting processes. I just think one can be more accidental than the other. Because, like, again, I think let's not limit beer to just, like, our Coors Light. Like ancient beer probably wasn't fucking like that. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, I think that's just it's more accidental. Like yeast is wild. Fucking like there are wild open top fermented beers, right? Like a lot of sours are like that. Fucking and shit like that. So yeah, I think it just accidentally happens. Like, and in the grand scheme of things, that's really all it is. They're just like, here's this stuff, and now we let it sit and fucking rot, basically. And then we skim all the shit off of it, and there's booze. Like, whereas bread takes a little bit more like active ingenuity.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Bummer.
Did you know the ballpoint pen was invented the same year Vincent van Gogh cut off his ear? 1888.
Dang.
Oof.
And the patent, by the way, for the standard ballpoint pen has never changed. Homeboy got it right the first time.
Who is Homeboy?
That's nice.
I wish I knew. I actually watched a documentary about this because I'm lame and I like shit like that. But the reservoir that he made and the fact that like that little ball bearing at the end, like it's perfectly imperfect the way it hits the seal, and so when that little fucking ball bearing rolls, it grabs just enough ink. And the main patent is the ink itself. Like everybody else's ink was too watery because they were used to using the fountain pens. And so he added just enough of a coagulant in there that it was jelly enough to where the ball would grab it and it wouldn't leak as he rolled it across.
Interesting.
Look at that guy.
Some guy named John J. Loud on October 30th, 1888.
And then Van Gogh cuts his ear off. What the hell's that all about? Did he pull fucking Reservoir Dogs?
That is, well, I mean, you know, I don't think they had a whole lot of like mental illness diagnoses going on.
I was
back
like,
then.
he was also syphilis crazy, was he not?
I think you might be right.
Was he? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he was in fucking like tertiary syphilis, which is basically just fucking Swiss cheese brain. Fucking so like it's my man was gone. Yeah, exactly.
A fascinating fact, and I know this, you know, before Neil deGrasse Tyson, you know, jumped the shark as a personality in the world. He loves Starry Night by Van Gogh, and because of the way he painted Starry Night exactly with where the stars were located, he knows the exact date. Maybe not the date that he finished the painting, but the exact date that the painting was inspired by.
It was
based on the astrological points of light in the painting itself.
Gee, that's a better
pretty
fact than the ballpoint pen cutting his ear off.
You're welcome.
right.
Yeah. Oh.
That's a good one.
Here's another fun fact. Did you know the battery was invented when there were only 16 states? But there is some archaeological evidence that the Egyptians made batteries way the fuck back in the day. There's clay pots with metal copper coils in them, and they think that they were using them. They actually think they were using them for electrostatic plating. So like when you know how like you can like something that's plated in gold. You drop a little piece of gold in something, you start the electrostatic process with a little bit of an electric charge, and it'll like plate copper or tin. They think the Egyptians were actually doing that. So that would predate the United States and all 16 of its current states at the time.
Yeah. That's
So
pretty.
you had all the I mean, I'm trying to think of the state grid. I mean, what was you had the 13, then what? The original 13, Maine, Florida, and right? It was Maine and Florida were the next two, and then
I don't remember. I honestly, I'm kind of mad at myself that I don't remember. Like
So
north
Ohio,
of
Kentucky,
like Massachusetts.
it may have been one of them. I felt like it ended at like Massachusetts. Maine and Florida were the next two. Florida, we had to kind of win over, right.
Well, then what about your Rhode Islands and your New Hampshires and your Connecticut's?
They were part of the original 13 colonies.
That's what I thought. Like so, like I can't. But westward expansion really hadn't happened yet. Because if you look at an old map, like the lines, like there are no like lines. Like Pennsylvania goes on infinitely west at one point in time. Like Maryland.
So what
like
what are the 14th, 15th, and 16th states?
maybe West Virginia would be one.
What are you asking?
What are
Okay,
the 14th,
beyond the
15th,
first,
16th states?
yeah, 14, 15, 16.
Hold on. Yeah, 14, 15, 16. 14 was Vermont, 15 was Kentucky, 16 was Tennessee.
Okay,
Nope, I'm an
so
idiot.
Vermont.
All right.
No, you're not an idiot. We just didn't fucking know. I mean, that's not. They don't really teach us much past the fucking first 13. It's like, the first 13 colonies became states. And then America was born, and all 50 became, like, they don't really.
And they also
Talk
brush
about
over
all
the
that.
Articles of Confederation. Like, yeah, for 4 years it sucked. And we damn near disbanded. Brush over
Let's
that.
see. What are we. Okay, final fact. And finally, did you know John Wilkins was the first known person to propose the idea of space travel and experimented with making flying machines in the 1650s, back when reflecting telescopes didn't even exist. I would like to see what Mr. John Wilkins was proposing we fucking shoot people into orbit with in the 1650s.
Jesus Christ. Alan, you lived off of the street that he was named after, so you may have some insight. Wilkins Ave.
Wait,
It's
sorry,
named
I
after
didn't hear
that
that
guy.
one. I was.
Now, this guy in the
After who?
1600s proposed space travel, John Wilkins.
Nice.
Yeah, he was like, "Hey, look at you just put yourself in a trash can. I don't care if it's labeled or not with where you live at or what address it is. Put some rocket boosters on it and pew, send you to Mars."
I always think about this when it comes to the original, like Gemini program and all that stuff. Like, all really NASA scientists did were like invent really good nozzles, because like it's not really a novel idea. Like, hey, let's put some really fucking combustible shit inside a tube and blast it off. Like, beyond that, like all they did was like figure out how to fucking focus the fire. We put dudes in a fucking dumpster, lit a biggest fire that anybody's ever fucking seen, and just pointed it in a direction.
Yeah, I
think there's a little bit more science involved in that, but yeah, generally speaking, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
if we're gonna dumb it down, there's probably some some fucking data and some research on like the gravitational forces that would be exerted on the fucking structure so it didn't tear apart.
I'm gonna use one of your great words, Alan, and there was a lot more mathin' going on than there was.
Oh yeah,
and
So
but
much
all the
mathin'.
mathin' that was done was basically like trajectory and such. Like, where's this thing gonna end up when we light 5 stories of fucking liquid fucking air on fire? Like,
I still think there was more math, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
It was pretty much Wild West. It was like let's big rocket, see what happens. But
I also
I think
like-
they were like,
liked,
how big do the helmets need to be? For you know what I mean? There
How
was
much
other
aluminum
math.
foil
Is all I'm
coverage?
saying. Yeah.
I did like
How many
what-
yards of aluminum foil do we need?
Elon did come up. I did enjoy Elon's take on humans getting out of Earth's atmosphere. Like we're gonna have to find a way to break Newton's second law of physics. The only way we can do it is jet propulsion, just to push through, unless you figure out a better way. And Rogan was like, "Oh, so we're stuck." And I was like, "Yeah, for now."
yeah.
Unless
Well, I mean, I think the revolution in space travel is going to be. By the way, that is your Fun Fact Friday. The revolution in space travel is going to be building, decommissioning or retiring the International Space Station, putting something up there that's more functional, like where you blast stuff off, and then you dock it, and that will be the thing that you use to do your interstellar travel. Like, basically, like, the initial launch from Earth will get you to a station where another craft will be waiting for you to take the second leg of the journey.
Yeah, I mean,
Where Chewbacca and Han Solo will be waiting.
it's kind of what the International Space Station does now. To an
Yeah,
extent.
but it just
But not
docks
with not with like manned stuff really. But yeah,
but like right now they just get people up there and they do kind of lame science experiments. Like they do 7th grade science experiments in zero gravity. Like that's essentially what they do.
but
up
they
there.
also shoot shit like probes have stopped there and then been sent off to like Mars and shit.
Yeah, maybe just a refuel.
Uranus.
But yeah, you're right.
Probes
You're
to
not. You're,
Uranus.
that's right.
Uranus. Sorry.
Probes.
Sorry.
Probes.
Didn't mean to derail the conversation.
That's okay.
That's the Fun Fact Friday.
And that's your Fun Fact Friday.
All right. Tonight and before you go, folks, listen. If you failed last week on your Valentine's Day gift, I think I might have something in store for you. The middle class holes might have something that's outside of the box. Now, are you guys bath bomb guys? I'm not. I haven't taken a bath in ages, but
I wanted to see what all the hubbub was about, and I used a bath bomb one time, and it was the most motherfucking relaxing thing in the world. I don't know what kind of fucking witchcraft they put in these things, but yeah, dude, you want to fall asleep in a body of water? Fucking throw one of these fuckers in there.
bath bombs. Well, check it out. Papa John's, America's favorite pizza joint, wants you to bathe in its special garlic sauce. Pizza chain announces limited edition bath bombs. That's right, folks. Fast food restaurants that have often had one item they do the best. For Papa John's, it's the signature garlic sauce. On Tuesday the 11th, which has already come out, the pizza chain announced that they are taking their special garlic dipping sauce to the next level in honor of the upcoming Valentine's Day holiday, and it's awarding its fans. The restaurant chain has created a limited edition bath bomb inspired by the buttery sauce that comes with every pizza order. We're going to end it there. If you guys have questions about cost or anything else like that, let me know. But that's right. You fill the water up. You get it nice and steamy. You tell your wife, hey, come on in here. You drop that, 4 to 5 inch bath bomb in there. And the aroma of special garlic sauce fills your house for the next 3 years. Your thoughts?
There's nothing sexier than reeking of garlic. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
This is like a good bad movie that ends with a vampire. You lure him into the bathtub.
God.
Terrible.
Wasn't there was there a beer company or wasn't somebody making a cologne that smelled like a dive bar or something like that? Like this is like the equivalent of that.
Yeah, it's nasty.
So saying
Baths are
if you
nasty,
were
but
to-
this is nastier.
If you were to concentrate the actual special garlic dipping sauce, it would take about $475. I don't have a cost on these bath bombs. The limited edition. Oh, excuse me.
I mean,
$12. There you
yeah, I was
go.
gonna say good bath bombs probably about 10 to $15. I think. Wait, have you? So you guys have never experienced a bath bomb?
No.
I mean, look, I've only done 1 or 2. Here's what happened. Somebody at work had gifted Maria for Christmas like a little Bed Bath and Beyond set thing, and it had 3 bath bombs in there. And so I was like, can I try one of these? She's like, yeah, I don't care. Why not? And I tried it, and I'm like, fuck. There's all sorts of women stuff. What's all the to do about? Look, guys, I'm not afraid to admit I like a good bath every now and again. Get yourselves a bath bomb. Try it out. See what you think. One, there's something cool about dropping a big fucking hunk of fucking compressed fucking shit into a fucking tub and watching it fizz and bubble and all that stuff, and then realizing that your skin is absorbing this relaxation drug. It's worth your time. Just letting you know.
Okay.
Take a beer with you. Take a beer. Take a mixed drink with you. Just sitting there. Light some candles. Be gay for a minute. It's fun.
Lock the door. Okay, so that being said, are you going to try the special garlic butter sauce?
If somebody gifted me a garlic butter Papa John's bath bomb, yeah, I'd fucking throw it in the fucking. I'd throw it in a
Watch
vat
out.
of fucking steaming water. Absolutely.
Stocking stuffer for the Murr House in 2025. All right,
Nice.
I think I might do this. I might maybe we could get an official review. It just seems like there's novelty gifts. This just seems over the top. Why is Papa John's doing this? Do they see value in a fucking garlic butter bomb?
I have a feeling that people who are regular Papa John's orders
Aren't bath
This is
bomb
right up their
folks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, people who are maybe a little too robust, say, to stand in a shower, are probably really hot on laying down and smelling the fucking thing that gets them hard.
It's so nasty.
But I gotta admit, man, fucking Papa John's garlic butter is I don't know, man. I don't know what they're making that shit out of, but it is top
It
tier.
is good, but like,
Yeah, man.
I was
I
just
used
saying the other day, I haven't had Papa John's in like years.
Look, Papa John's, I know Papa John himself kind of almost sank the company with his loose language, if you will. Papa John's is good. Chain restaurants don't stick around for decades because they suck. Now you can dislike them, you can say this ain't pizza, but it's a fucking good mouth fucking taste and it's worth your fucking time. And I used to get Papa John's solely to get the garlic butter because nobody else was doing it.
That's
now
reasonable.
every pizza company in the fucking world is like, you want garlic butter with that? Like, yeah, I fucking do.
Yeah.
Overcharge me for grease, garlic, and fucking cream. Yeah, that's fine.
I'll take a couple,
Yeah, nothing wrong with
couple
that.
brownie squares while you're at it. They do have good desserts. I'm just saying. They have garlic butter knots and a couple other things with like the cream sauce, whatever. All right, Alan, tell all the bath bomb
How are you still
aficionados where you
alive?
can find the middle class holes.
PapaJohns.com. You can order your
There it
bath bomb. Now, where is that one from? Is it from Papa John's, like legit? Or
Yeah.
I didn't catch. Oh, okay. I didn't know it was authentically sponsored. TM.
It's them.
Papa John's bath bomb. Well, anyways, if you want a bath bomb, go to Papa John's. If you want a papadilla, also go to Papa John's. Don't know what it is, but it sounds delicious. If you want to get more of us, check out at MDL Classholes on Instagram or Twitter, or the Middle Classholes on every other social media platform. We're not kidding. Try it. Check us out. MySpace. Fucking, I think we have a. Do we have a Tumblr now? Do we have a? We should just get a Tumblr. Is Tumblr back? We're making one. Either way, find us. Keith, email us. You're the only one.
Yeah, Keith Kern, where you at, bro? We need another fucking hot email, and for particular our tummies.
Damn it, dude.
Tonight-
Email us.
Yeah. Tonight on This Week in Class Holes History, this comes 5 years ago. 2020, this is actually right before the pandemic broke out. Alan was actually in studio, and by this studio I mean my futon and my recliner here. And we discussed leaky gut syndrome, something that was brought to light by a Dr. Stephen Gundry. If you ate too many lectins, they created tiny chemical razor blades and cut your insides to shreds. Hilarity ensues. Enjoy. We'll see you next week.
Telling me I can't read good.
He's like, I'm ugly. I can't read good.
Since we are a pretty poop and flatulent heavy podcast,
Yeah, poop.
I figured I'd take the time to tell you about a story. It's from a Dr. Stephen Gundry, Gundry. He wrote this thing. My insides feel clean again. So this guy's whole shtick is, and he was a cardiac surgeon, cardiac pulmonary doctor.
Okay.
Was 70 pounds overweight for a majority of his life. Said he lost a lot of it. Said many of the so-called health foods in our American diet contain dangerous toxin that could be expanding your waistline. He explains this, or he calls this, a.k.a. leaky gut. I feel like after a hangover, a long night of drinking, I've had me some leaky gut.
Some leaky gut.
And it's affecting millions of people nationwide. Warning signs include weight gain, fatigue, digestive discomfort, stiff, achy joints, and even skin problems. So that's like, what, 3/4 of Americans.
Yeah.
Side effects often mistaken as normal signs of staging normal signs of aging because leaky gut usually develops over a matter of years and sometimes even decades. But I can assure you the damage caused by these so-called health foods are far from normal. So he goes on and on and on and says that he has the cure. Okay,
For leaky
there
gut.
was a 15 to 20 minute video in which it was 15 to 17 minutes. Let's just say it was 20 minutes. Did you guys watch the video? Did you guys do your homework assignment?
Nope.
No, I did not.
Okay, I watched it at work today. I got to the bottom of it. So let's just say for conversation's sake, it was a 20-minute video.
Uh-huh.
It was about 18 minutes of him leading up to
Naturally.
what it was. And he discovered it was a thing called lectins, Lectins. And these are sharp little atomized things that are found in certain proteins. All right. And also some fruits and vegetables. And what it is when when you're digesting food, your small intestine soaks up all the good stuff, and then it breaks down into decay matter.
Yep.
AKA, all right. Lectins, again, if you do a microscopic thing, according to Dr. Gundry, they have a little sharp end, and it can kind of cut your guts a little bit because your guts are small, and it could leak into leak into your waistline.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've also did a follow up at the Mayo Clinic. They said there's not much actual data to prove what Dr. Stephen Gundry is.
What may I ask at this point in time is the snake oil that Dr. Gundry is selling us?
Because to me, by the scientific things that you've just explained, it literally sounds like he is full of shit.
He was like, the vegetables you eat make tiny chemical razor blades, and they fucking cut away at your insides. Buy this snake oil.
It's like
Dr. Gundry snake oil. 100% snake.
It's like sickle cell anemia, except you're eating it. It's digesting it.
It's ridiculous.
I think he might have some oil for right here.
You spray it right on your taint for maximum absorption.
Leaky gut. I mean, that's someone had to. He didn't come up with that.
No, he didn't. I mean, he might have came up with the fucking fictional story that you just told us.
I mean, there were pictures to prove it.
Animated pictures?
Well, of him, and then after
him.
he gave up these foods, and then it was from a graphic designer
Right.
who was showing the intestines cut,
So
when
here's a-
lectins cut into it.
So here's the question: did he give an example of any of these foods? Like, what were these foods?
Oh yeah. There
Okay.
were a handful. There were kidney beans, tomatoes. There were probably 6 or 7 other things. I wasn't listening intently when I was watching the video.
That's fair.
I was doing work while I was at work. But I heard,
So these are all foods that we have all eaten since the dawn of man, and suddenly Mr. Gundry has decided he has the cure for general nutrition.
I wonder. It's first of all, it's Gundry. So it's a Gundry. I'm just saying Gundry.
Yeah, that's fine. Nobody
All right.
cares about this guy's name. He'll be irrelevant. As soon as this bit's over. So, but yeah, I mean, to his point, like, and you said beans and tomatoes.
There was a handful
You know what
of
I mean?
others.
Like, so, like, I mean, if we just want to play devil's advocate here, like, you know, very robust races eat beans and tomatoes. If you want to be serious about it, I don't think them lectins are cutting much of shit.
Right.
Is all I'm saying.
I think if you do the petite cut tomatoes, Murray, you can vouch for me on this. Dewey Fox would be dead. Beans and petite cut tomatoes.
Oh, absolutely. He would just be filling up right now. His gut would be a sieve.
Wouldn't even be fire hydrant gut.
all those lectins.
Yeah.
There would just be one. There would be a dagger
Right.
inside of him. Just
See, when I think
made of lectins.
when I think of leaky gut, all right, honestly, first thing that comes to mind is out in college, Saturday morning after a night of raging, and then eating God knows what at 2, 3, 4 in the morning, and then got some leaky guts.
Yeah.
I got some leaky guts. That had nothing to do with lectins. I didn't know what a lectin was until about 8 hours ago. So
Well,
I don't think
it's-
Mr. Gundry knows
was-
what a lectin is either.
I was like, it's not real, so I don't think anybody else does either. Yeah.
they are in fact real.
Lectins are real.
Because I immediately then went to a credible source, aka Mayo Clinic,
And they said lectins are real.
but it said rumored. It did address the fact that it does screw with your digestive tract. Then it did follow up with us at the Mayo Clinic, and I'm paraphrasing, have not seen any data or any scientific study to back up this claim.
I don't know. I want to read through this myself because I don't know how you're interpreting this to me, and I feel like the Mayo Clinic was like, lectins is fake. Like that was the headline.
Lectins is fake.
Yep, that's it, just like that. Mayo Clinic. Fucking. This is how bullshit they think it is they don't even care how they say it. Lectins is fake.
It's no proper grammar necessary.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Like it's not even lectins is fake. It's lectins is. So like just apostrophe s fake.
Gotcha.
Like a contraction.
Wow. Well, folks, I think it's time to check out your WebMD. Go to your dietitian.
Yeah, keep that lectin count in check.
Dr. Gundry is making headways. He's Canadian as well, I think.
So yeah, wait,
burning money and creating lectins.
Did we get to what he sells that fixes it? Did you tell us that? I wasn't paying attention.
It's a diet.
Okay. Okay, that's right. So we're removing the lectins.
Lectin-free
living.
2020, new me.
Yeah. What? So
lectin-free.
you say like kidney beans. So what about like navy beans?
Listen, man. I don't have
lima beans.
I don't have a full goddamn ingredient list.
I'm just asking if is it all beans? Like, just kidney beans?
Okay. Depends. I guess
Look, I'm a bean aficionado. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't foresee myself giving up lectins here anytime soon.
No, probably not. They're in tomatoes and beans. Like, as a Latino man, I don't think those two things are going anywhere anytime soon in the diet.
Okay? What? Serious?
Don't take me fishing near a hill. Just ask Miss Smith, give me a big old glass of beer. 'Cause I get drunk most every day. I always seem to find myself late. Might be on as fuck, I'm still riding like a pup. I fell down, but my dick's still up. Well, sometimes I may need a hand when I'm just too drunk to stand. I don't need your sympathy, keep your judgment too. 'Cause you just give it a little pull, and my dick's strong like bull, ready to satisfy my woman whole night through. I get drunk most every day. Everyone knows Scooter is a gay. Might be on his fuck, I'm still riding like a pup. I fell down, but my dick's still up. I fell down, but my dick's still up. I fell down, but my dick's still up.